Ever wonder what's going on inside your wicking tubs, or how you're going to replace a bad tub, especially if they have perennials in them and you need to save the plant? Well, today we're going to replace a busted wicking tub, and I'm going to show you what's going on inside those tubs. The roots, the corrugated pipe, the landscape cloth. Let's take a look inside the beast. So as most of you know, I raise blackberries in containers. These are wicking tubs. It's a tub with a reservoir of water at the bottom of it and some corrugated pipe forming the reservoir, acting as a reservoir. This one split last year. I showed you that. I told you I was going to have to replace it, obviously. What I was going to originally do was just pull it out of the trellis. That's this wire here. Pull it out of the trellis, lay it down, drag it out, put another one under it, put it back in. So instead of that, what I'm going to try first is to pick it up with a tractor. And if you don't have a tractor but you need to do this, I'll tell you in just a minute how to do it without a tractor. But right now I'm going to pick it up with a tractor, and if I can get it up high enough to push the tub out from under it and just pull the next tub in and let it down in that tub, this is going to work well. Now, we're going to discover two different things here today, and both of them will be interesting, and that is how to replace the tub when it busts, when it splits, when it deteriorates, and they will. But also, we're going to be able to see the bottom of it, the bottom of the tub. We're going to be able to see how the root system has grown down into those corrugated pipes, down into the reservoir, and it's going to kind of tell you what's going on in a wicking tub that without pulling the plant out, we'd never know. So let's get after it. Again, I'm going to tie a rope or a strap around it. I've got two different things in mind to do. Either way, I'm going to show you what's on the bottom of a wicking tub that's had blackberries in it for 3 years. We're going to see what that looks like. I think it'll be pretty cool. I expect the root system to be massive, to be completely covering, completely dominating all the soil that's in it. But let's try to pick it up. I've got to move the drip irrigation first and then loosen these wires so I can pick it up without stretching the wires, breaking the wires, whatever. You know, I'm a little concerned about skinning or breaking some of these canes, especially with the new green on it. I don't really want to break off any of those little green shoots, but it may be inevitable. We'll just see. Let's tie something around it. See if we can pick it up. I don't want to do a chain. I want to do something that's a little more forgiving, because that won't scar or scratch or gouge in to those canes. So let me show you what I've done. I've got a chain coming from the tractor bucket to a rope tied around the bottom. And I don't know if that rope is strong enough or not. We're going to find out pretty quick. But we're just going to try to lift her up, and you will be a witness to this. Let me back off just a little bit, so if something goes wrong, it won't hit the camera. So we're gonna pick it up, and then if it gets up in the air far enough, then we can take a look at it, and I can show you what's under it, what's in the bucket, how the root system has done, and hopefully it'll hold long enough for me to do that for you, and then we'll slide another bucket under it and replace it. That's what this is all about, replacing that bucket. All right, so we're gonna start raising it up. I like what I'm seeing so far. All right, let me kill the tractor. We'll come down and look at that. All right, so there's one pipe that just kind of hung on. There's really no soil down here in here, which is the way it's supposed to be. All right, there's the 3 pipes. The root system has not invaded them at all. That's pretty neat. I really expected it to, because it did a little bit on the fruit trees, had a little bit of penetration through the landscape cloth and into the pipes, but just, you know, like that much, just enough to hold the pipes to it. But this one, the pipes just fell off, so that's good. I will move this out of the way. I will replace this. That is the fill tube. And let me back off and show you that. I got to drill a hole in the blue bucket, my new blue bucket, and then we will replace this and set it down in there. This might be sweet. This might have worked out so much. I was really dreading this, but this may work out really, really nice. Okay, so I've drilled my 1/2-inch hole in the bucket here, the new bucket. Pull that one out of the way. Put the new one in. I can see some fire ants underneath it. That's not good. We will treat that later when it warms up a little. But you can see these pipes. There's nothing in those pipes. So that is what's supposed to be happening. Got some spider webs and stuff, but that's nothing. One pipe that way. Where's the hole? I'll put the hole on that side. All right. Don't really want to get under this in case something breaks. There you go. That should set down just right in there. And then I'm going to do that slowly, set it down slowly, because I'll need to set my pipe on the other side. Set my pipe in it as it's going in. The pipe needs to be outside like that. It'll be on the other side because that's just the side I've got all my other pipes. And I can probably do it without even cranking up the tractor. We'll put that in there like that. And then start going down slowly. That pipe might help guide it in. Man. I mean, man. I mean, slicker than snot on a doorknob. Now, it looks like it needs to settle in. It's not quite all the way down, so I'll try to stand on it, push it down a little bit. Let me get this rope cut off of it. I hate to cut the rope off until I know it's right where I want it to be. So I'm gonna let it down a little more. So I'll come on this side. As you can see, it's standing up just a little bit. You know, we really couldn't see the root system because of the landscape cloth, but I promise you, it is full, completely chocked with roots. You can barely reach down in there without grabbing a root. So let me see if I can stomp down on it just a little bit and get that to move downwards. I believe I did. I believe we would call that completely seeded. I don't think I broke any canes picking it up like that. I've got a few that are dead that need to come out. That one's dead. I've got my pruning shears with me. I can't believe it went that smooth. So, but 3 years and there was no growth of the roots into those corrugated pipes. That was just as clean as it could be, cleaner than I expected it to be. I mean, it was really, really nice. Here's the old tub, again, just split right down the middle. I'm sure the roots of the blackberries, the massive roots in there pushing on it, gave it, you know, expanding and everything, helped to bust the tub. It's the only one that's busted. I've looked at all of them, that's the only one I see. Just busted it out. And it's, well, let me show you that, I guess. The outside is getting a little brittle. So this might not be the first one I replace. First one so far, but you can see it's getting pretty brittle. So expect your tubs to last maybe, depends on what you have in them. If you have blackberries, something like that. Blackberries are fruit trees. These blue, it's the Dumore protein tub. And I have some other tubs that aren't this brittle, that are much thicker. Obviously these blue tubs are meant to last, you know, one winter. And but they've lasted for me for, this is the going into the fourth year on these. I believe it is, I'll look it up, but going into the fourth year on these blackberries. And folks, we just replaced that one. We just replaced that old split tub with a brand new one, and it didn't take long at all. Hey, how about that? And you got to take a look at the underneath, the bottom, what goes on underneath a wicking tub that's got either vegetables in it or, in this case, blackberries, fruit trees, whatever. But just understand that there is a lifespan, there is a longevity to these tubs. In fact, there's no telling when I fed that tub. It could have been 2 years before I put blackberries in them. So that tub may be 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old. I've been feeding tubs for a long time, so who knows? But I'm just tickled to death. I've been dreading this, I really have. So came out well, and I hope you got something out of it. I'll replace my drip line, put that in place, and man, we're back in business. I'm starting to green up, which means I'm fixing to fertilize. I'll show you that probably next week in a fertilization video on blackberries, and we're gonna get in gear here pretty doggone quick. It's almost springtime. Hope you're doing something. Hope you're doing something in tubs. Don't let this split in this tub discourage you from growing in tubs or growing in containers. As I've told you before, earth boxes last a long, long time. It's just a different material. It's just different, and they'll last. I've had people tell me that they've had earth boxes for 15 and 20 years, and I believe somebody told me they've been using them for 25 years, same tubs. So earth boxes last a long, long time, and for that reason, I'm not gonna say it's my container of choice, but it's something that I've invested in, and because of the longevity of them, because they work, and also because of the longevity. A little pricey, but they work, and they'll last apparently maybe 3, 4, 5 times longer than some of these tubs. Now, if you don't have a tractor and you can't pick it up like that, how would you do this? Well, these are mobile. These are portable. So if it was me, I would take it to I would put a 2-wheel dolly under it. That's the best way to move these when they're big, when they're full and heavy. Put a 2-wheel dolly under it and pull it over to a tree. So a tree limb plus a rope and a come along. I think you could do this without a tractor. If you don't have a tree, then you could maybe go in a garage in one of the rafters. You know, it's not that much weight, probably 100 pounds, maybe more than that if it's wet. I would try to do it when it's fairly dry. But I don't see any reason that you couldn't pick it up with just like I did, except instead of using a tractor, use a tree limb or a rafter in a garage, something like that. I would think it'd be pretty easy to do. A swing set, any kind of A-frame, something like that. And I think you could get it up in the air tall enough to take that one out and put a brand new one in. Dadgum, that went slick. That went slick. All right, I think that's it. It's just made my day. I like it when a plan comes together. We're gone.